This is the Matchbox oven. We're gonna do all the test cooking and talk about how to adjust programs based on food results, and we're gonna do it on the Matchbox. If you've been watching the video series, Matchbox, Shuttle, you're basically looking at the same oven. The controls are the same. Navigating the Matchbox, again, if I wanna get into the editing feature, just press the up button from that main screen. There's no hidden button over on the other side. So only thing you get if you're on the other side is that it's just gonna move the carousel left or right. But we're gonna work from the right side. Oh yeah, and you see if you press that button mid movement, it goes real slow. So editing it, same as the Shuttle. I'm not gonna go into it in deep detail. If you wanna get into the aspects of all of it, press up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, enter. Has all of the same parameters that the Shuttle does. The only difference is you don't have the option to set belt speed, which is a Shuttle specific conveyor setting. Other than that, everything else is the same. So we're gonna go into recipes, and this is how you want to learn how to develop and start to understand where to tweak your recipes is from the editing screen. So I'm gonna press edit. I'm going to use my par-baked pizza recipe. And it's basically 50-degree top blower, 50-degree bottom blower. It's a 485-degree temp for 2.5 minutes. Good place to start. I'm gonna exit options. And this is where the test cook is important. If you're gonna start messing around, is once I run the pizza through and it comes back out, we're gonna see the results, is I can then continue to edit the recipes. Like I might decide after it gets done cooking, add another 30 seconds. It's very difficult to exit out of all of this and go back into the standard cook mode and then run your pizza and then see the results. And then if you need to make an adjustments, code back into the editing piece and then make the adjustment. So just as you're doing this, and this is basically the recipe development format, is stay here, don't exit out. I'm gonna grab my pizza. I'm gonna go right on my cooking grate, and I'm just gonna press test cook. As these ovens are cooking, Matchbox or Shuttle, you can press that chef hat anytime and see what you put in or what somebody else put in. It's an easy way to do it without even being in the editing feature. Is simply press that chef hat and you can see what the parameters are. We will pause and come back when the pizza's done. All right, so I wanted to see the pizza come out on the video. But if you're ever cooking anything and you want to see what it looks like halfway through, press the open button, and then it'll pop out, and then you can actually resume the cooking. But we're gonna cancel that. So this was, again, I'm just looking at it, and it's all. Pizza is in the eye of the beholder. What are people looking for? It's purely subject to you yourself, the pizza maker, or any foods you're doing here. You're trying to get a result you want to get. But this looks pretty good. The crust is brown. Cheese has got some browning on it. The pepperoni's cupping. The crust underneath looks good. If I wanted to make that lighter, I would then go back in, or darker, either way. So what you have is 4 parameters to work with. Let's go back into the editing. If I want that browner, more brown, I can either, you got 4 options. I can increase the velocity of the air hitting it. That will definitely make parts of it brown. Also, increasing temperature is going to increase browning. Cook duration will also increase browning. So I can kind of stretch it one way or the other depending on where I'm at. Another thing you kind of always want to do is have a thermometer. I'm going to do this on my next example. How hot did it get? 180. I mean, that's a perfect pizza for the most part. But I would adjust all that. Exit options and have another pizza. And let's see if we can make this one a little bit lighter. So I'm going to go to editing. And I want to go 30% on top. I want it crispier on the bottom, so I'm going to go 60. I'm going to keep the time and temperature the same. And let's just see the different, maybe we get a different result. Exit all that, run another test cook, and we'll be back. All right, pizza test number 2, getting ready to come out here. Okay. You can definitely see the difference. Cheese didn't get as dark, pepperoni didn't get as cooked, crust is a little bit lighter. So just changing the velocity of the blower speed, the bottom got a little bit browner because I went more air on bottom, is I can adjust all that. And so then once I have everything locked in, I just press exit and save, and that thing's gonna be ready to rock and roll for me whenever I get ready to run a pizza. And where you're starting to get this is, this can be for a sandwich, it can be for appetizers. All these things are kind of go through a testing mode, and we're trying to get the exact results. Is crispiness, browning, is it hot in the middle? And I'm playing with airspeed, time, and temperature. A good example is I'm going to take this exact same program. I cook that fresh dough. It's more of a par-baked crust dough. And now I'm going to do, this is a lots of matzo, frozen pizza. And this is where people kind of struggle getting these ovens calibrated, is trying to run a lot of different things based on starting temperature, density, moisture content, and thinking they're all going to be the same results. Just because you got a good result on one pizza doesn't mean it's going to work for the flatbread or a supreme or a 4 meat. And it could be just a little bit of a tweak of a time, could be a little bit more airspeed. One of the things is, you know, the longer you're cooking foods, the lower the temperature needs to be so that it doesn't overcook. These are, you know, cooking a pizza in 2.5 minutes is a very fast, aggressive way to cook a pizza. And what you're gonna see when this frozen pizza comes out is it's gonna look cooked, but it's probably not gonna be warm in the middle. And so we gotta make some adjustments. Okay, so this is our frozen pizza. I mean, what you're getting at that program, you're getting browning on the cheese, you're getting some color on the crust. Actually, that's hitting like 160 degrees. So Not bad for a frozen pizza. A lot of these frozen pizzas are built up with frozen meats and whatnot in there. This is just one I happen to have sitting in the back. Is on a typical frozen pizza of any sort of thickness or moisture density, you're going to want to actually lower the temperature on that. The instructions on the box are cook at 475 for 18 to 22 minutes, I believe. And you're trying to do it in 2.5 minutes. A lot of times it doesn't work, especially if it's still frozen. So I might want to go a little bit longer on this with a little bit different setting, as I'm actually want to lower the bottom velocity, lower the temperature down to 450. I'd probably cook this thing for maybe 4.5 minutes, just low and slow. Again, a 5-minute pizza is still awesome compared to 17, 18 minutes. Drop everything down a bit. Test cook. We'll see where we're at. All right, so this is not a bad looking latza matza. Got the coloring a little bit more. A little bit of cracker crust going there. Again, just starting with the baseline program, tweaking it a little bit. And as you get more practice in it, you're gonna learn what you're looking for. You know, and another thing is setting up multiple levels. Is maybe that latza matza needed to go low and slow for 5 minutes, and then you add another step, and then I add more velocity of air. And we talked about this a little bit. And this is where you're just doing this through the test, edit recipe, program development, and cook foods. Get everything ready and staged up, so you're just cycling some foods through, make some notes, make some adjustments, and you'll get everything calibrated just as easily as I will. It's not rocket science. Again, we're here to help you. We're more than happy to come out and work with you. Anytime, feel free to call, but this is a good video to reference, train new people. You get some new foods in and you're trying to get them figured out. Please use this as a reference on how to test foods out.